Hello everybody and welcome to Mechanicus. My name is MrWoodenSheep and today we are playing a game that is quite similar to XCOM, except in the Warhammer 40K universe. You play as a squad of tech priests that are trying to keep Necrons at bay, but I think it's actually unfair to just compare the game to XCOM because while it does play similarly, there are a lot of differences that actually keep it unique and are definitely worth noting. I will get into them a little bit later on when we start a mission. But so far I'm really enjoying the game. It's actually my first 40k experience ever. I've not read a book, played a board game, anything like that. And to me it's actually a much more interesting universe than just kind of seeing space marines kill aliens. Obviously that's not what they're all about. But the tech priests and the conflict between the Necron and the way they kind of abandon their biology for these mechanical parts is really cool. The writing is great, but I'll showcase all of that as it comes along. So as you can see, you start off a mission in the safety of your ship. You've got your little skull companion over here. I think his name is Redditus. And you control your squad from up here and you can basically choose what rooms to go to. In kind of an FTL-like style, you can basically choose what to do when you're given a certain situation, as you'll see here. So this guy's actually my favorite character. He talks very strangely, kind of like he's a computer. All the characters are actually really unique. I don't know if they're existing characters already from another game or book or something, but the conflict within the squad is actually really interesting and they all sound different. The sound design in general is really fantastic in my opinion. The music is super catchy and atmospheric. All the characters sound different. It's really great. So I'll actually let you listen to that a little bit when we get some dialogue. But right now you can see we're given a situation, we have to deal with it. So, the chamber ahead has suffered damage from the shifting of the landscape above. Several dozen tiny beetle-shaped constructs are scurrying about industriously as they repair the damage. So, we can choose to ignore it. There is not the time for such deviations from the mission. Ignore the scarabs. Acquire. Collect a couple of scarabs for study. Acquire plus. Attempt to collect several of the scarabs. It is in how they act as a group that the greatest insights will be found. Let's just try to do that. Because that's what my favorite character likes to do, and I like to play as him, just kind of studying everything. There's actually another character in the squad who's the complete opposite, basically a religious nut that thinks studying any alien technology is heresy, and I really just love the conflict. But yeah, if there's more dialogue, I'll let you listen to it a little bit now. But scarabs, not individual constructs, but resource of the tomb itself. Whole tomb is form of Necron construct. Brackets, commence formulation, wondrous kaleidoscope of hypothesis. I love that guy. Okay, so this was actually a successful little thing. I got cognition points, which I'll explain in shortly, and Blackstone you can actually use to upgrade your characters. You can notice up here my tomb's awake level has been increasing slowly. And as you saw, basically every room that you progress to is going to increase anyway, so you're actually kind of not encouraged to explore everything thoroughly because you're meant to be under this like stressful situation in a crypt. And yeah, our presence has been detected. So basically, as this awake level increases, the Necrons will get buffs as you go through the crypt. So if you get to like level 2 or 3, they'll get maybe an awareness buff where they can ambush you easier or do more damage or something like that. And actually, throughout the entire playthrough, there is also a gradual awake bar that's consistent throughout the game, similar to the Avatar project in XCOM 2, where basically when I'm done with this crypt, the number of awake level from this crypt will actually carry over to that overall bar. I'll show you that a little bit later on as well. I'm unsure of the repercussions of that. I haven't gotten that far into the game, but it is definitely something that's interesting and kind of keeps the pressure on. The chamber ahead is... there will be combat soon, don't worry. The chamber ahead is lined with glowing green cylinders, each pulsing with power. The air is thick and greasy, and arcs of static electricity leap from the cohort's extremities as they approach. This chamber is almost certainly extremely dangerous, but it is the only way forward. The writing is really great, by the way. This isn't even some of the best examples. Attempt to shut down the strange Necron devices. Move through the chamber with extreme caution, carefully monitoring the energy levels, or try to understand the purpose of this Necron technology. Let's just go slow and steady. I don't want to lose any people. Alright, I messed up, and apparently we got 2 awakening increased, and the Necron initiative increased. The cohort succeeds in negotiating the chamber without harm, but doing so takes rather long than the mission parameters allow. Shortly after exiting the chamber, they begin to exhibit severe rashes, shivers, weeping sores, and unnatural expectorations. Oh boy, what a word. Which hinder their combat effectiveness. Great. Are we gonna get any combat in this dungeon? I kinda wanna show it off. There you go, we're getting a battle now. So, The combat is actually really unique in my opinion. Very, very interesting. So you can actually choose where to deploy your people, kind of like that. So you've got your 2 tech priests, or as many as you bring, and you've also got your troops. Troops are basically disposable units that you don't really care about killing, as you'll see in the battle basically. Right now I've only unlocked the servitors, but I'm fine with this right now. I can actually choose to deploy servitors somewhere as well, but it'll consume cognition points, as you can see here. I don't really want to... Actually, you know what? Let's just keep 1 servitor with us right now, and we can start the battle like this. So, in XCOM, you've got a cover system with partial, full cover, all that stuff. That's gone in this game. You can still take cover, obviously, if you like hide behind something and break the line of sight, but there isn't any actual cover bonuses or flanking or anything like that. And as you can see, I also cannot control all my people at once. It's not a alien turn and then an XCOM unit's turn. It's actually whatever the order is you can see here. So I cannot actually control Magnus Manarius, what a name, yet. I actually have to play with my servitor. So, he can only walk in this small space. God, the music is so good, by the way. I'm going to let you listen to that a little bit later on. Probably in the outro, actually, I'll play some. But I'm going to bring the servitor here into plain sight. And you might think, MrWoodenSheep, that's very stupid. But I'll tell you that cognition points are very important in the game and in battling. And if a servitor gets attacked, basically the tech priests are supposedly studying the way the enemies are shooting at them and everything, and you'll actually receive cognition points. So I'm going to end my turn. So I'm going to bring this guy over here. I'm actually going to gather a cognition point from this pillar over here, and you can see down here it's going to increase. And cognition points are very important because basically you can see here I can move into the orange area past my normal action point place basically and use a cognition point for it if I want to. And you can theoretically do this infinitely as long as you, like if I let's say ran to, this pillar isn't active at the moment, but if I ran to this, I could actually consume the cognition point within it and then continue moving basically infinitely as long as I have cognition points. But cognition points, let's just call them CP from now on, are also actually used for certain weapons. You can see here at the top up here in this rectangle, this melee weapon will actually consume a CP point, or CP. So I'm gonna actually just shoot this guy here. He's out of range, unfortunately. So instead, I will use my servo skull to come and collect some cognition points for me. The servo skull is on a 2-turn cooldown, I believe. Yep, over there. You don't... by the way, you can basically use all your weapons as long as you have cognition points. That's why you can see it's actually very different to XCOM. It'll become a little bit more clear as I continue. So, another interesting thing, I'm actually going to shoot this guy. You don't always reveal the health bars of enemies. It depends on the weapon type, and that's another use for your servo skull. You can actually scan an enemy and see their armor or their energy shields or their health bar, their remaining health. This one actually, you can see one of the stats is reveal target statistics. So now if there was an enemy next to me, I could actually potentially melee them, but this guy is basically out of turns. And another interesting thing, you can see this little blue square here is where I can walk without spending CP. If I walk one tile only, I actually preserve all of the tiles that I could have walked. So that's also very interesting. I actually probably should have gone to cover. Didn't really think about it because I was trying to explain. I'm actually going to consume 1 CP so I can get him to cover. And as you can see, I can actually continue to use CP as much as I want, as I said before. But I'm going to end this guy's turn here. This guy has a perk where every time his turn starts, I actually earn 1 CP, which is really useful. I also got a +4 range for ranged weapons. So, and I can also heal people. There's a lot of stuff you can use. You can even go down here to Canticles, and this is a one-time use per the entire mission. Per the entire tomb, I can actually restore 5 HP on the active unit. But I'm not going to use that right now. I'm going to make my way over here. There are also occasional things that you can do to scan. Like, for example, I can scan here and earn some Blackstone to upgrade my characters. But first, I really want to eliminate these threats. That servitor is in the way, so I'm going to shoot this guy instead. And as you can see, that also becomes a cone later on. How much damage does this do? 1 to 10, and this does 1 to 2. Well, there's nothing stopping me from using both, actually, so I'm going to do this. So the interesting thing about Necrons is they actually, when you kill them, when you deplete their entire health bar, they actually go into a down but not out state, and they will come back to life after 3 turns. But if you inflict any amount of damage on them, it will kill them permanently. So I'm going to come over here. Oh, that's actually my last CP. I'm going to consume 1 here with the servo skull. just so I have enough to come here. Actually, no, I'm gonna stay right here because the servitor will actually absorb the shot for me. And in turn will also give me some XP. Oh, and there's a guy rising behind me. Didn't expect that. Okay, that's actually a problem. So you can see at the beginning of every new round, symbolized by this green skull on the timeline, all the CP pillars actually come back. And I'm also allowed to bring in reinforcements at the beginning of every single turn, and I can deploy them near any tech priest I want to. I'm going to bring one here to try and absorb some of these shots from here. Because tech priests are super valuable, you really do not want to lose them. It's pretty much game over. Servitors are completely expendable. So I'm going to bring this guy over here. Also another interesting thing, anyone with a melee weapon, which the servitor does have, obviously I can melee them like that, but they basically have an automatic Overwatch mode from XCOM, where basically if anyone walks by next to me, it'll trigger an automatic melee attack. So I'm going to bring him right in this guy's face, so if he wants to move to cover, he's going to instantly get attacked. So as you can see, this says Machine Spirit Charged. At the bottom of every single weapon, you can see this tiny little bar over here. This one is fully red, but with every attack that lands, I believe, it will actually charge up the Machine Spirit, because each weapon has a spirit within itself. And it'll do a lot more damage when you use it the next time. So I'm going to bring this guy over here. Gonna shoot this dude because I'm going to do a lot of damage with this weapon. Actually not that much because this weapon is pretty weak. This weapon does energy damage, so if he actually had shields it would have negated even more damage. And I'm out of range, but I could consume 1 CP, bring him there, but it'll also consume another CP to do a melee attack. Yeah, but it might be worth it. Might not be, but this guy's kind of a threat right now, so I'm actually just gonna do it. And actually, when you become within melee range, you cannot use ranged weapons at all because it's supposedly too dangerous or something like that. Okay, really not much damage. I'm not quite sure why I just got more action points to run away. I'm actually gonna keep him here because it will give me an opportunity attack, which is the thing that I told you previously about melees, where if someone walks by me. So the servitor is gonna get attacked now, and you'll see it'll actually earn me 1 CP. Yep, because they're studying the poor guy as he gets shot up. Poor guy. Alright, he's gone. Opportunity attack. Did a bit of damage. Man, these guys are actually really tough. They weren't this tough in the last mission that I did. Oh boy, my tech priest is taking 4 damage. That's not good. So we're gonna bring the servitor over here. He is in melee range. That's actually great. I actually really should be trying to get some more CP. I'm gonna end my turn here. Thank God for this guy's perk. I actually kind of want to come scan this, although it's a little bit risky. I should still be able to land my hit, maybe. Maybe not. Scan it. An interesting thing is actually if I destroy one of these terminals, it will lower the awake level. But I really want that black stone to upgrade my guys. Okay, we can do a lot of damage here. I could finish that guy off if I go over there. It's a bit risky. And I will be consuming pretty much... Actually, I have 3 CP, so I'll do it, why not? Do I have my servo skull back? No, not yet, in 1 turn. So I'm gonna kill this guy, finish him off. He'll stop being a threat, hopefully. Yep, he's down. So I do need to finish him off within the next 3 turns, or else he will revive. And this guy, I can shoot with my other gun. So you can see, as long as you have CP points to spend, or CP to spend, or you've got turns, or whatever, anything like that, you can pretty much just infinitely go on as long as you have weapons to shoot, or CP to move around with. It really is quite a different battle kind of system. So I'm gonna end my turn. Gonna finish those guys off hopefully soon. And some Canoptech scarabs just spawned, which is actually annoying. Didn't expect that. These guys are also pretty frustrating. Okay, there you go. So now this pillar has recharged. I'm not sure why this pillar isn't recharging. It is weird. But I guess it was never active to begin with anyway. But yeah, basically every pillar will recharge at the beginning of every new turn. So, I'm going to use this skull to come over here, gather that. Thank you. If I actually went over there in person, I would be able to gather all 3 at once. Let's see, can I finish him off? Hopefully. Let's bring him here, use my powerful axe. Nice. If you hit them with a critical attack, it'll actually finish them off without putting them in that downed state. And I can bring this guy over here and hopefully make use of his gun. Let's see. Yep, I can finish this guy off. Boom, look at that. They actually drop CP when they die, or when they're downed. and I kind of lost out on that now, but that's okay. Since this guy's gonna be over here moving anywhere here, I'm just gonna bring this guy to cover and then gather this CP anyway, so I basically, that didn't cost anything to actually move like that. I'm gonna bring him even a little bit closer and end my turn. You can see the timer's ticking down on that guy. The scarabs are on their way. The scarabs are actually quite a tricky unit. If you don't finish them off very quickly, they will regenerate because they can supposedly rebuild their fellow brethren. This servitor is so out of place, and you cannot actually do that CP movement thing that I've been talking about, which is unfortunate. Oh, thank God for that perk. Yeah, as you level up your tech priests and make them feel really powerful, it's actually super satisfying. Oh, this should do some lovely damage right here. And it's my machine spirited, like, charged up thing. So that was beautiful. You can see I don't know how much damage I actually did to these guys now. Again, I can use a skull to scan it. But this simple gun instead will actually do that, and it'll also do damage, so why not? I'm gonna do that. You can see how much just damage you can inflict in one character's turn. I'm even going to walk over here. Yep, it'll consume 1 CP. Actually, I'm gonna bring him over here so he's in cover as well. It'll consume 1 CP, but I'm actually gonna grab 2, so in the end, it's a really... I'm netting a lot of CP there, and by a lot, I mean 1. And I'm also gonna bring the servo skull to... Nope. Those aren't actually available yet. Those aren't recharged. Alright, we can end our turn here. Oh boy, we've got more Necrons spawning. Why? I wasn't ready for this. So, can I reach these guys? Actually, yeah, I forgot to mention that you can see symbols appearing on the enemies, which will show me if I'll be in range to actually shoot someone, and with what weapons. There's only 1 scarab left in that unit, so I'm actually going to try and finish them off. It should be enough. Oh, and it was a machine-spirited one. Maybe I shouldn't have wasted it. But that's okay. Not a big deal. He should be in cover more or less. From this guy anyway, these ones are not ranged, so it shouldn't be much of a problem. There are actually quite interesting level designs as well. Unfortunately, we got kind of a boring mission here. I'll see if we have time for another one. Probably not. I think the video is getting quite long. But there are some levels where there's like moving platforms where every turn it'll actually like fly across the entire map. Which actually is quite interesting when it comes to positioning and having to think of stuff like that. Oh, by the way, you can actually zoom in a lot in this game, which is actually really appreciated and cool. You can see the really high fidelity models actually and see your characters in all their glory. So, let's see. I'm going to bring this guy here. He'll actually be able to reach both units, and I can shoot them both individually. First of all, let's just shoot this guy with my stronger weapon, I think. There you go. That completely destroyed those scarabs. And we're going to shoot this guy like this. Oh, and it's a machine-spirited thing. I kind of forgot about that. That's great. He's really weak. I should be able to finish him off in the next turn. I'm going to use my skull here to come and scan this. Beautiful. Should we take him to cover? Let's take him to cover. I don't want him to get shot. The servitor is right there, basically asking to be shot. So all the damage that you carry over will carry over after a battle. So the entire tomb will actually be a lot harder if you're not careful with your tech priests. I don't need to deploy more. Although I have so many CP, I might as well. I'll just put 1 more just to be safe. Why not? I'm even going to gather that CP instantly as soon as it's this guy's turn. Gonna bring him here. He might even be able to just finish him off. Yes, does 1 to 2 damage. Let's see. Nope, just 1. I'm not gonna move him away. Alright, there you go. This guy can get the final kill and take all the glory. The servitors, I believe, are just like lobotomized, I think, criminals and stuff like that. Just like disposable humans that the tech priests don't care about. You don't really feel like you're playing a good guy as a tech priest, which I don't really mind necessarily. I think it's quite interesting. So I don't actually have to finish him off because you can see he was the last unit anyway. Obviously, I'd be able to kill him. The game just likes to save you some time. So unfortunately, we're not getting much back and forth between the squad mates in this mission. There's a lot of really interesting dialogue, I'll just say that. Yeah, I really do love this guy as well. He always talks about his emotional cores. So you can see there was a tiny bit of conflict there. And sometimes it gets a little bit... It's basically like a soap opera. All these guys are just kind of fighting for their own purposes. So I'm just going to give you a very quick rundown before we end the video of all this stuff here in the hub. So you just get your rewards, all that stuff, great. And you'll see I actually acquired 3 awake points in this tomb. So this will add probably 3% there. These are my rewards. I can attach these weapons to all my tech priests now. I got a little bit of blackstone. Great, good stuff. New canticle unlocked. Wonderful. So you can see here, this is actually how you pick your new mission. This guy's a mission for me, this guy's a mission for me. They're basically on their own quest, trying to look for stuff. You can see the rewards to choose from. I'm gonna assume you won't be able to take on all of them because of the awakening progress bar. Don't quote me on that though. As I said, I'm not that far into the game, so I can't tell you for sure. You can come here to your tech thing. You can see all the weapons you've discovered. Great, good stuff. So now we're going to go over here to show you how to upgrade. This is the troop layer, and this is the tech priests. You can have 6 tech priests. We're going to go over here and upgrade Magos Jeremiah. So you can see here, it'll actually consume blackstone. Every time you upgrade a tech priest, their next upgrade will cost a lot more. So I'm going to go to their disciplines. You can see there's multiple different trees. So I had this one, +4 range for ranged weapons, deals 1 damage to target, stuff like that. Your next weapon attack does not require cognition points. We saw how important those are. So this guy actually has a very high costing cognition point thing, so I'll actually give that to him, why not? And you can see here, obviously this is how much it'll cost, and it'll also add an augment capacity to him. Any upgrade you get will add an augment capacity, which now means that I have 1 more slot to equip a weapon or armor or anything like that, support stuff. Okay, this guy actually has 2 guns. I would not mind adding this single target melee attack. Knocks back the target by 1 tile, deals 2 physical damage to target, and it doesn't consume any CP. Since he does have a high CP weapon, I actually want to balance that out. And you can see it actually adds that onto him. He's basically Dr. Octopus right now. The characters look so cool as you like start to add stuff, and you can actually see everything physically being plugged in. Like the gun here on the right side is actually over here, stuff like that. You can rename them, by the way, if you want to change Manarius, but that's such a beautiful name, I would never want to do that. Also, if you want to, you can customize your faction's color, like you can go between these presets, or you can even just go completely custom, make them bright pink with yellow stripes, like little highlights. Let's see how that looks. Not that bad. Yeah, overall, I'm really loving the game. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see too much interesting dialogue, but it is there in this game. I just love these religious, like, technological nuts in this world. It's really interesting. And some of the descriptions of some of the rooms you enter are written very intricately and just really, it's really nicely done. The graphics look great, the atmosphere is great, the music is really awesome as well. I'm in love with it. I need to grab the soundtrack, honestly. And I'm just loving the game. I'm planning to definitely finish it off in my own time. And yeah, that's about it. So if you want to pick up the game for yourself, there is a referral link in the description to buy the game from Humble Bundle. You will receive a Steam key and you support my channel at the same time. But if you'd rather buy the game directly through Steam, I'll also leave a link for that. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and share the video, and I'll see you next time.